Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, our presentation will be in English. I wish we could speak German. My name is Arnab Goswami, and this is my co-blogger, Mahmudul Haque Munshi. At first, we want to thank you all for having us here, because it's really a great opportunity to talk before people. And today, we will be discussing on the power of blogging and the tension between radical fundamentalist group and bloggers in Bangladesh. And I must alert you, there are some graphically really disturbing images. It's actually the thing going on in Bangladesh, and mostly in Bangladesh. So be prepared for that. Now we must talk a little bit about Bangladesh. Bangladesh came into being, probably not Bangladesh, but Pakistan was first created from the British. There was two countries, India and Pakistan. And these two countries was created on the basis of religion. You can understand, just on the basis of religion, two countries were separated. India and Bangladesh and Pakistan in 1947. You can see some pictures. There were really bad riots going on that time. Because, there are two countries on religion, so it is quite normal that the people of one religion may not really like the people of another religion when the base of the country is religious structure. But the real problem arises when Bangladesh, far away from Pakistan, was attacked with Pakistan only because of the religious factor. So in 1952, we had a major protest against the Pakistanis, because the language of our country, Bangladesh, was Bengali, whereas the language of Pakistan was Urdu. So we fought with the Pakistanis, against the Pakistanis, for our language movement. Then you can see what happened later on. This is the real situation that Pakistan did to us. And this is our national leader, Bangladesh Rahman. With the help of him and under his guidance, we got our independence in 1971. So finally we got out of the Pakistan and we got our own country. Rise of fundamentalist groups in Bangladesh. My friend Mahmudul Haque Munshi will talk about it.
Well, there is another blogger from Bangladesh also here, Mr. Ahmed Nadir, and I am talking about the rise of fundamentalist group in Bangladesh. Before our independence, there were some fundamentalist group in Bangladesh also, and they wanted to change the language of our country just because it was not so Islamic. And in 1971, these Islamist group helped the Pakistani military, and they formed a militia. It's called Rajakar. Rajakar is an Arabic word. It means who helps. So you can see this militia group was getting prepared, and they helped the Pakistani army to kill 3 million people of Bangladesh. They were pro-Islamist group, and when they get into Rajakar, they had to get an oath to keep their hand on the Quran. And when we somehow finalized our victory, and they thought that yes, the Bangladesh is going to be happen, just before 2 days of our independence, they killed nearly 1,000 of our intellectuals, and more of them were from a university teacher, and some of them were artists and those things. And they raped and they tortured 200,000 of our women, and there were the organizers say that there were 60,000 a newborn baby in 1971 just for the rain. And 10 million people left Bangladesh and they went to India to seek refuge. After we got the independence, some time went on. Our national leader, Mahmudul Haque Munshi, he started a code to punish them who were involved in those stealing, in those torching the houses and looting the houses. So there were some courts to punish them, and there were 11,000 people in the jail. And in 1975, our leader Bangladesh Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was being killed. After he was being killed, those 11,000 people were being freed. And after that, they became really powerful. They came into the power. Even one of the collaborators, he became our prime minister. So you can imagine if after the World War, if Hitler get the prime minister in Germany, you can imagine those situations. And this person his name is Ghulam Azam. He was the top leader of Jamaat Islami, the Islamist political party, and he was the think tank, a main thinker of the party, and he was the icon of the party. And he went outside of Bangladesh, but he came back later. The government, after killing Bangladesh Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the government came, they reinstated him, and they gave him again the nationality of Bangladesh. And you can see this is another person, Matir Rahman Nizami. He got later on he was one of our ministers, and it was so shameful for us because for 45 years we didn't get the justice. We didn't get justice for those 3 million people who were being killed in 1971.
I'm going to talk about the emergence of alternative media. The thing is that, why do we need alternative media? For example, what we do if our mobile doesn't work, if our phone doesn't work, we try to reach the person or the people by some other way. So that's why alternative media got really popular in Bangladesh, and not only in Bangladesh, all over the world. The mainstream media, no offense, but they are often really conservative, and they think that we have to run a business, so we got to be portraying this thing or that thing. But the alternative media can say anything, and they can reach further more people, because people are really losing faith in the mainstream media. So several blogs came into being, like WordPress got really popular worldwide because they're free, easy to use, easy to reach people. In December 2005, I guess, the first Bangladeshi blog site was opened. Here I would like to say one thing. Blogging in Western world and in Bangladesh is a bit different. We use the collaborative blog forms. In these places, people register and can post blogs, and other people can reach people easily. So this was the first blog site in Bangladesh, Summer Blog. And again a WordPress thing. So what happened in Bangladesh was really staggering. People never knew about the blogs, and they got really interested into it. They say, okay, maybe we believe in something the mainstream media won't publish, so why don't we self-publish ourselves? Why don't we make people hear our voice? Because we have to write something, people generally are not really comfortable with understanding something different, so we have to make them understand. that's why really alternative media is more popular all over the country. And now he's one of the core founding member of this revolution. He will talk about bloggers revolution, the Shahaba movement.
Well, why bloggers? Why not the student leaders or the political parties? In countries like Bangladesh, political parties are corrupted. They doesn't belong to the people actually. And the student organizations, they put leaders in front of the student organizations. The students doesn't elect the leaders. So for 30 years in Bangladeshi universities, they doesn't elect student leaders. So why bloggers? Because bloggers say the true things, the true facts of the society. Bloggers were the face of the society. Blogger told that new things and the truth in an alternative way. So bloggers became the main spokesperson for the nation. And in 2013, one of the collaborators of 1971, he gave life sentence. He killed 345 people, and after he killed 345 people, after 45 years waiting, he got life sentence, which is not the highest punishment in Bangladesh. And he was really happy. That's why he showed a victory sign, because he knew after 6 months there was an election and he will get out of the jail easily. Because the opposition party, they openly said that we will get them free. So he said, no problem, I got life sentence, I will get out after 6 months. So people who waited for 45 years to get the justice, they became really angry. And personally, I became really angry. I opened a Facebook event to say that no, we want justice. We want the highest punishment for these killers, for these war criminals. And we were only few people, like 100 or 200 who we were in the street, and we decided to block the roads. This was the first procession. This was the first procession of the bloggers who stood there in that day, 5th February 2013. And this is what happened after 2 days. This is what happened after 2 days. In every aspect of Bangladesh, there was 417 uprising stages in Bangladesh, everywhere in Bangladesh. And 23 countries in the world, 126 cities, there was a protest. Wherever Bangladeshis was there, they created a uprising stage and they protested, even also in Germany. So we were demanding that all religious political parties should be banned. We demanded that the religion should be separated from the state. We demanded the highest punishment for the war criminals. We were really peaceful. Just this is the center of the movement, and within 100 meters there was the prime leader of the war criminals, Ghulam Azam, was there. We didn't throw any shoe to them, or we did nothing. We were there with candle in our hands and we demanded justice.
Actually, the revelation in Shahabad is path-setting war. And there were revelations before even Shahabad and after Shahabad. Because around the globe, the alternative media or social network is getting really popular, and we now know this kind of media can ignite our revelation. For example, this is a picture of the Arab Spring. Arab Spring was there, it proved something, it got its it was really significant for everybody, not only for the Arab people, for the around the world. Then now this was the Libyan revolution. So actually something was coming out from the social media. You know, there was a time when even my family never understood the importance of social media. My mom always thought I was from nothing writing on Facebook and I was getting threatened, but these things prove that we can change. We can make a change, and the change is required. Then now look at that, Occupy Wall Street. I know there's a lot of controversy around these revelations or revolts, but again, yes, there are some bad things, like against Occupy Wall Street, people were saying about picketings and stuff like that. On the other hand, I really appreciate the Shahbag movement because nobody, not a single media, whoever against the movement said a single thing about like picketing or like vandalization. Even the University of Shahbag could say about the vandalization of anything of Shahbag. So this kind of movements and the new trends around the globe, and I believe actually this thing is really helpful because, you know, people like me, people like him, we cannot reach the mainstream media for a beginning. If I say, yes, Fox News have to listen to my voice, no, they will not listen to me. Nobody will listen to me. But using Facebook or blogs, people do listen to us, and collaboratively, we can make a movement going. You know, for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Shahbag movement was on the headlines of every Bangladeshi channel. Before that, nobody cared. We were writing like from 2008-2009. At the beginning, none of the TV channels or mainstream medias thought we can make a change, we can make something really happen. But this thing helped us, the social media. Now I will talk about the attack of bloggers because, you know, nobody, the general people like a change, but the government, the institution, they don't like a change because they have their own formula that this is the way we should go our way with this line and we will be defeated, forget the general mass. Look at this picture. This is a blogger from Bangladesh. He's a friend of ours. Fortunately, he survived this attack and he is now in this country. This is the real guy. This guy, his name is Ahmed Nadir, by the way. This guy looks like this. And just imagine, some people attacked them in this way because they believe he criticizes religion. I can criticize something, and I am not bound to like everything somebody says or some book says. Yes, I cannot do anything outrageous, but I can criticize something. I have the right to do so. And you know, in countries like in third world countries, people get away with citing that I have done this because religion said me to do so. I can remember like 6 months or 8 months ago, there was an article in RT program, and they said, and a Saudi Arabien guy, he's a preacher, he raped his own daughter and said that Islam permits that. If your wife or daughter or son goes out of the way, you can kill them, you can rape them, you can do anything. So we can't accept this, we have to criticize it. If I'm thinking right, we have to criticize it. I have showed this picture to you earlier. This guy is called Rajiv Haidar. He was one of the founding member of the Shahbag movement. On the 11th day of the movement, this guy was attacked. He was killed. Ahmed Nadir was lucky that he got away, but this guy was not. He was killed. Some mainstream media like Bangladesh, actually supported the killing, saying that there are so many reasons this guy was killed. Probably his family life was not happy, that's why his wife was in. You know, you understand how the media works. Yeah, does the same thing. What they're saying is Shahbaz is bringing the fascism in the country back. But why? We are demanding the punishment for the war criminals. People say, why are you demanding capital punishment? From my point of view, I'm demanding the highest punishment for them. It doesn't matter if it's capital punishment or anything, because I can change my rules for the war criminal. If somebody rapes someone or kills someone, he gets a life sentence, not a life sentence, he's hanged. But when it comes to the war criminal, they say no, you need a much lesser punishment. Why? Because 3 million people got killed in 1971. So we have the right to be proactive about their punishment. We have the right to demand justice. And what happened right after Shahbaz movement took place? Actually, some extremist group was seen to get on the rise. This is a movement organized by mullah, and you can see the huge number of people actually gathered in that protestation. What we demanded was simple. We demanded capital punishment or life death sentence for every atheist. If you see this thing, this one says right there, we want death sentence for the atheists. Why? Because we are atheists. We do not believe in any of the religion, because maybe they think we do not have the right to speak our voices, we do not have any voices, maybe they think that. And this one is really funny. This one says, do not attack any domestic animals, but do not spare a single atheist life. We are much lower than the animals. I really feel, I don't know what I feel. I feel ashamed, I feel anguished when I say about these things. Because I don't believe in any God. Does that make me any inferior than anybody? What is that? And this one is in English, though really wrong English. The blogger is every blogger is atheist in meant, and it should be disbeliever, so kill him. And the funniest part is that when they put down that 13 demands, when these mullahs, our prime minister, our elected prime minister, though the last election was pretty much got up, she said, we respect your demands. Number one demand was every atheist there should be killed. Number two, women should not work in office space. Number three, men and women should freely mix up. So these were the demands, and our female prime minister said, I respect. It's really funny. This one again, we demand punishment for the atheists. And this was a really big protestation against the atheists again. Yeah, with the pictures of Asif Mohideen and some other prominent bloggers. And this is the guy who actually made those demands. And it's quite funny, the guy, this same person actually trying to grab the attention of everybody from 20 years back, because the writer Mustafa Nasrin, he also makes some fatwas against Mustafa Nasrin. Yeah. And he said it is our duty, or must do, to kill all the atheists. And now Munshi will discuss furthermore.
So the mullahs were on the street and they demanded our punishment. So what did the government do? The government did the funny thing. They arrested three bloggers and they presented on the media with the laptops and the CPU like we are some kind of criminal. And they said these are the criminals of Bangladesh, and they arrested Asif Mohideen also. The blogger guy you saw was being stabbed in the back. Yeah, and what happened after that, his name is Arif Rayhandip. He was a student in Kuwait, Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology. He protested that the food shouldn't go to the protest of those mullahs. And what they did after, they came back and killed him. This is Abhijit Roy, one of our really meritorious atheist and blogger. He's an American Bangladeshi guy and founder of Muktamona blog. He came into Bangladesh in 2015 for the book fair of Bangladesh in February, and he was being killed. His wife was also being attacked, and police was there. Police was there within 12 feet of the killers, and police said, "We thought someone is some political guy is fighting with each other." This is one of my friend and co-blogger, Washikur Rahman. He was being killed, and the local people, they grabbed those killers. The local people grabbed those killers, and police released those killers. And do you know what happened after that? They got into remand by police, and police said, we didn't get any information from them because for 2 days they were praying. They were praying, that's why police didn't ask anything from them. This is Ananta Bijoy. He was being killed when he was going to his office, and his head was chopped off. Nobody came to rescue him. This is Niloy, one of my friend, really close friend. And the other killings were in the streets. In his case, they came into his house and they killed him in the house. That's when I got really scared, because we were not safe in the street. Now we are not safe in the house also. He was there lying in his house and he was killed like this. This is Dipon. He was accused of publishing the books of Abhijit Roy. He himself was not atheist, but he was accused of publishing the books of those atheists. That's why they killed him. The same day they attacked Ahmedul Haque. He was also publisher and blogger. Now he is in Norway. This is one of the organizers of Shahbag movement in Sylhet. He was not that much popular. Nobody knew him actually. He's not even a blogger. He was a Facebooker. He wrote his thoughts on the Facebook. He was being killed in the street in Dhaka. And you can see this is the left one is Julhash Mannan and the right one is Mahbub Tanai. Julhash Mannan was the LGBT rights activist and Mahbub Tanai was a theater activist. They were also being killed. They went into his house, they killed him and they got away. This is the person, the police says to us, this is the person, Redonul Ajad Rana, who is the mastermind behind all this killing. You know, the funny thing, police detained him and they freed him, and he went to Australia after that.
You know, the attack or the persecution of the bloggers is not really unique in Bangladesh. Probably the killings is a bit more in Bangladesh. You know, the last 2-3 years, the Bangladeshi extremists, I guess, are more prolific. But let's have a look. This guy's name is Shahjam. He's a Tibetan blogger. He got arrested by the Chinese government for being anti-government. He's not anti the state, but anti-government. He got arrested. This guy is a monk. His name is Lobsang Jamia. And the funny part is that government is accusing of a secularist because it believes Tibet got the right to be separated from China. And really, just imagine what's happening. Can't a person speak of independence? This guy, probably everybody knows him. His name is Raif Badawi, and you know, Free Arab Secular. He was the owner or creator of that website, and he's a diabetic patient. Again, he got hypertension, and the Saudi government decided to lash him 1,000 times, 50 times a week, every Friday for 20 weeks. Just imagine a guy like him. What was his crime? Did he murder somebody? No. Did he rape somebody? No. The rapist can get away. I discussed about that before, that a guy raped her daughter, got away. But this guy couldn't get away because he spoke his mind. He said something which bears a value. And again, this guy, his name is Nahed. Nahed is a prominent writer, but the reason he was like, there was a case against him, and the case was of really, he shared a cartoon, and he was actually, it's quite funny. They call it the House of Justice. He was assassinated really near to the House of Justice. So that's the justice this country is giving. That's the justice the world is giving to the secularist voice. Is that the right thing to do? And now again, you will take the floor.
Well, why government fear us? Why government think that we are the power? Because when we say the right thing, people gather in front of us. People say that yes, this is the right thing, and they doesn't want to hear those lies in the medias or frontline medias, and they don't want to hear those things that the government or the political parties want to place into the mind of the people. So when people gather in front of us, then the government started to fear us. Government thinks that these people will be really powerful, and these people will demand something which they could not serve. That's why government fear us, and that's why government thinks that these people should be killed, or these people should get out of the country. Well, this is our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. What did she say? We will have to stop doing this. Doing this means blogging. It won't be tolerated if someone else's religious sentiment is hurt. After killing your friend, a blogger, when a Prime Minister says these things, what do you think? The killers will get more emphasis. What a Prime Minister said, he can't attack someone else's religion. Here, attack means writing something. What she said, Bangladesh would be ruled by Sharia law. They claim themselves that we are secular, we are the secular parties of the Bangladesh, and they say the Bangladesh should be ruled by Sharia law. And this is our state minister. After killing one of my friends, after killing one of the bloggers, what he said, his writings needed to be scrutinized to see whether he wrote anything objectionable about religion. He didn't want to catch those killers. He didn't want to get those killers into justice. At first, he wanted to scrutinize what the dead people has written. This is the situation. This is the political dirty situation we had to go through, and now we had to get out of Bangladesh. We had to fear for our life because of what? Because we wanted to say the truth. Because we wanted to demand the public demand. I don't know. I don't know what will happen to Bangladesh, what will happen to the world. I don't know. If these right wings will get into power in every country, like England, like USA. I don't know. Next year is the election here in Germany. I don't know who will get into power. I'm really scared of that. So I want you guys to open up your mind, open up your eyes, and to be there for those oppressed people who are being killed, who are being tortured around the world, just for the free thinking, just for the free movement, just for saying his own word. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.